Hi guys, welcome to Pro No TV Finesse Voiceover. I'm focusing my camera on this beautiful transsexual young man right here. Someone I met in the 80s, 90s when I was working at Radio City doing catering production for big stars. I never talk about those days because I don't really like to think about it because a lot of those people could have helped me back then in the day, but they didn't help me because I wasn't having sex with anyone, I wouldn't sleep with anyone, I wouldn't party, I wouldn't go to the parties. I was invited to so many parties. I would go to some parties, but I wouldn't really go hang out with them because one of my friends would hang out. She hung out at one of those parties. I told her not to go to one of those rock parties. I think it was Iron Maiden or something like that. We used to do a lot of rock shows, R&B. I worked at Radio City. I was a production caterer. I never talk about those days. Really, I don't. But I'm talking about it now because I just seen my friend right here. He's a transsexual guy. Very sweet man. I remember him back in the 80s and 90s when I was working at Radio City. And I just seen him on the web just now, right? Oh my God. She is spilling the beans, girl. I hear you. I knew you was going to write a book one day. Because I asked you then, I said, you want to write a book? And you never said anything. We were young then. We were very young then. Oh my God. We were like, oh my God. I think we were in our early 20s. Right? This was in the 80s and the 90s. Because I remember when I was at Radio City, right? Eddie Murphy had got busted on the pier picking up a transsexual. They used to call them women with skirts. I mean, males with dresses or something. And they were saying that Eddie liked the foot fetish or something with toenail polish on. And I was like, I don't even want to hear it. And people used to come and tell me these things when I was at Radio City Music Hall working as a caterer production assistant. And the stuff that I used to hear, it was so horrific, guys. I really didn't want to hear it. But this young man, transsexual. I remember him back in the day. And she's coming out with her book. Tony Newman. Hey, Tony. I know you might not remember me. Finesse. You might not remember me. You might, because you hang out around Radio City and stuff a lot. And you 14th Street and all of that, I was young and innocent and sweet and I wasn't doing nothing, man. I mean, you couldn't even hardly give me a joint, a reefer joint. I mean, I used to just run from that craziness because I used to see so much cocaine and drugs and seeing all that stuff, it just make you run like hell. And anyway, I'm from Detroit, and my family, my mom, she wouldn't accept me back in the family if I ever messed up so crazy. And all of these people, look, and she's saying, look, all of these people are bisexual and gay. Oh, it's crazy. I was noticing this is why nobody never wanted to read my scripts, and And people was always telling me, well, girl, you ain't gonna sleep with nobody. I'm like, no, what, hell no. They said, well, you ain't gonna make it in this business. And I thought they were joking. I just like, oh, please, everybody is not like that. Anyway, I'm focusing on this young lady right here. Tony Newman, he's a transsexual. And he slept with some of the famous people, some of the most famous people in the world, guys. And some of these hip hoppers, right? Well, they say hip hop and rap and hip hop. Is it the same thing? They say rappers aren't gay, but hip hoppers are, and all that stuff. I don't know. Anyway, Tony Newman, do your thing about Mr. Mama say knock you out. Back in the day, I'm not the messenger here, guys. But you know, I've been in this business for a real long time. And I started from the bootstraps because I would work in this business. I would do jobs like, you know, do production assistants and, you know, catering for big stars and, you know, because I was a young actress, a writer. I was always writing, right? I wrote my first screenplay. I think it was called Young Success. Right, Young Success. But I turned Young Success into a television show now. And I remember this young man right here, Tony. Oh my God, do I remember you? Oh, back in the 80s and 90s. Anyway. Anyway. Oh, she's right. She has written her book. She's written her book. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting tongue-tied here. She has written her book. And I've always wanted to, you know, because I've always heard about LL Cool J. Because, you know, Russell Simmons and, you know, the record deals. And if you didn't, Russell Simmons, you didn't get no record deal. And all of this stuff. I mean, I was working in the business. I was right there, but I never spilled no one's beans. But shit, I mean, come on, man. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I know, guys, but I don't tell. And I was never going to write a book. I've never thought about writing a book or anything like that. Anyway, this is about LL Cool J. I'm going to just shut up right here. I'm just going to let, you know, this beautiful young man, young woman, transsexual, you know, bisexual women, transgender young lady do her thing. Hey, you know, you guys hear from the horse's mouth. This is Pro No TV, you know. Pro No TV. And, you know, people's business is being spilt out with this gay lifestyle. My God, is everybody gay? I guess I'm the only one that's not gay in the business, huh? I'm the only one that's never slept with a woman. And I never will because I'm not into that. But, you know, I love the business. Oh, come on, man. Okay, Tony Newman, do your thing, honey. I'm not going to stop you anymore. Okay? I'm not going to stop you anymore, I promise. I'm just, you know, because LL Cool J, right? I created, I'm not even going to go to it. Anyway, well, you know, do your thing, hun. I ain't gonna, Oh, where am I here?
That I have spoke publicly on is LL Cool J. I met as a street prostitute 15, 16 years ago.
Baby girl was straight this shit out.
The encounter with LL Cool J was a one-time encounter. I serviced LL Cool J. I knew it was LL Cool J. He knew, in fact, I was transgender. It was like any other encounter I had. I got paid. I performed the service.
Mama said knock you out.
Thank you.
Oh.
Never spoke again. We didn't text, email, call. We didn't exchange any numbers or contact information. I never saw him again. I saw Eddie Murphy 15, 16 years ago pick up friends of mine on that street block in New York City.
Eddie!
You look mighty cute in them jeans.
Oh.
Eddie Murphy was on the strip during that time, come out a lot. And he not only recruited, but paid very well. 7 transgender friends of mine who I saw get in his car. I also saw them get out his car. So I know for a fact Eddie Murphy, ever since 96, has been utilizing transgender prostitutes.
Did he ever tell him to keep it quiet, or did he ever tell him?
I don't know if since I didn't have a one-on-one encounter with him, I don't know the verbiage that he used. I'm assuming since we were street prostitutes, I guess he never thought we'd we tell anybody anyway.
Whoa, guys. Well, hey, you know, it's hard for me to get into the business. I don't sleep my way to the top. Nobody wants to watch. Nobody wants to either. I'm just trying to figure out if show business is a regular business, because you know the horror stories that I've heard. Whoa! I have to go drink some cold ice water, guys, right now. This is Pro No TV. This young, you know, transsexual young man right here. His name is Tony Newman. He's coming out with his new book, and he's spilling the beans on everybody gay, transsexual, bisexual, and the hip-hop actors, producers, movie producers, directors. Whew. I'm out of breath here, guys. Hey, you know, I'm not the messenger here, just like I said before. This is Promo TV. And just like I said, I have to go drink some ice water. LL Cool J? Well, could you stop doing that show that I created for Venture Soul? You know, Singing with the Stars. And Viacom Incorporated, you work for them. LL, you work for Viacom, the Devils. And they're getting you to do all kinds of things, LL. You're selling your soul, LL. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony Newman. I remember you from back in the day. Girl, you still crazy. Pro No TV. Fran's voiceover. We're out.